Hello everyone and welcome back to People News. Today we're going to be talking about Kira getting hacked on MSP, and apparently it was meant to be the end of the world on Friday. But it never happened. On to our news story about Kira getting hacked. So on Movie Star Planet last night, Kira was, because loads of people are always saying, I will give you free VIP if you let me if you give me your email and password. And Kira, in a way, Kira did do it, but she asked this person who said that, but she was going to do it on a separate account to see if it will actually work and if they're not actually just lying. So then she did it, but she forgot that she was on her main account. So then she did it on her main account, and then her main account, when she had a boonie and she had 3,000 monies, well actually 1,000, but she then did it, and then it logged her out of her account. She tried to go back on, and her password has been changed, and she doesn't know what it is. So what she's done is she's hired a hacker hunter, but she knows a better one, but she hasn't been on Movie Star Planet. So that is our first news story. Thank you, Lucacina, for that news story. Now on to our breaking news story about yesterday. I decided to be by the map for this report because then I could it makes more sense. So basically, what I read from the Daily Mail and stuff was that on the 29th of July, so only a few days ago, on Friday, so that was 3 days ago-ish, the world was meant to crack, and then Jesus was meant to come down and he was meant to kill everyone who wasn't religious and stuff. I was like, that's not true, because Jesus is a nice person. And I watched the video and I was like, no, that's not true, because Jesus wouldn't do that. And I was talking to this with my friends, and my friend was panicking. I'm not going to say who, but they were panicking because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do or anything, because they actually thought it was real. But she was scared, even though but before she read that it was meant to happen on Friday. So, and she was like, phew. But it was we didn't know that it was meant to happen on Friday, so we thought that was meant to happen because it said tonight, so we thought it was meant to happen tonight, and then we were actually yesterday night. So we were getting so scared, but then we phew. But I'll show you a clip from the video, but it was so weird, and it was a robot voice saying it, and it said the world will crack, and then there'll be a polar flip, and it's the actual polar regions flipping over. I'm like, that's not possible. So I'll just show you a clip from the video now.
Discuss the second coming of Jesus Christ, which occurs at the same time as a magnetic polar flip and catastrophic global earthquake. Good day. Not many people know what the Bible states about the second coming of Jesus Christ, and therefore they are in danger of being deceived. This broadcast will provide you with the knowledge you need so as not to be fooled by false Christs and false prophets. On the day which Jesus returns, there will be a polar reversal. Isaiah 24:20 says, "The earth will crack and shatter and split open. The earth itself will stagger like a drunk, sway like a hut in a storm. The world is weighed down by its sins. It will collapse and never rise again." Revelation 6:12 says, "There was a violent earthquake, and the sun became black like coarse black cloth, and the moon turned completely red like blood. The stars fell down to the earth, like unripe figs falling from the tree, when a strong wind shakes it. The sky disappeared like a scroll, being rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved from its place. The polar flip will make the stars race across the sky, and the vacuum created from the reeling of the earth will pull the atmosphere along the ground, trying to catch up, creating what is known as a roll cloud, which will pull with it the dust and ash created from the global earthquake." Psalm 97:5 says, "The mountains melted like wax at the presence of the Lord." The global earthquake will be so bad that every hill and mountain will crumble. Revelation 16:20 says, "And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found." Revelation 6:15 says, "The kings of the earth, the princes, the commanding officers, the rich, the strong, and every slave and free person, hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains. They told the mountains and the rocks, 'Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath has come.' And who is able to stand? The global earthquake will seem unending, and no one will be able to stand on that day, as the sky vanishes under a roll cloud and the stars fall from heaven. The buildings in every city in the world will collapse into utter destruction, killing millions." Isaiah 30:25 calls it the day of the great slaughter. The resurrected Christians, and will be collected by God's angels from the four corners of the earth and brought together to meet the Lord in the air. 1 Corinthians 15:51 says that when the resurrection happens, Jesus will transform his people, mortals, into immortals. And God's army of angels will gather his Christians, bringing them to Jerusalem, where they will appear from heaven with the Lord to defend Israel. Revelation 19:11 says, "And I saw heaven opened, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war." Zechariah 14:4 says, "He will take his stand on the Mount of Olives east of Jerusalem, and the mountain will split in half, forming a wide valley that runs from east to west." From here, Jesus will go out to wage war against the Antichrist and his army, and the many Arab nations coming against Jerusalem and Israel. Joel 3:16 The Lord roars from Mount Zion. His voice thunders from Jerusalem. Earth and sky tremble, but he will defend his people. Revelation 19:14 And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Joel 2:4 They look like horses. They run like war horses.
Yes, so that was a little clip from that video, but I was not scared because I knew it's not gonna happen because Jesus is a nice person. He wouldn't go killing people. So I don't think he would do that. So it was just a bit. I had a feeling because it was. My friend said it was also on Fox News and everything. I had a feeling that someone hacked into all the news websites and put it on there to scare people. That's what I think, but that's just one of the main news. Because yeah. Thank you, Lucacina, for that little video. Our next video is actually when I made the last news. I didn't know, but the night before I made the last news, there was actually another bombing which I didn't know about. So I'm going to talk about that basically. Basically, the night when I did the last news, the night before, there was actually a bombing in Germany. I don't know. I just find out what happened, but there was a bombing, and the German people just or got killed. I'll find out what happened. So basically, an asylum seeker blew himself up and then it killed loads of people. And I feel so sorry for the people who know someone who got blown up. I feel so sorry for you, and I wish that I wish you good luck. So basically what happened was the man or woman, I think it's a man, but went to a nightclub and wanted to go to a nightclub, but then they said no because there was a festival going on basically in a nightclub, and then the guards said no. So then he blew himself up just so because he couldn't go in. And I'm like, why? Here is a little clip of, but I'm only doing it with myself, so it'll look very strange, but so here's a little clip. Guys, just to warn you, this is not making fun of it. This is just to give you an example of what happened. This is not making fun. And yeah, so enjoy. Whoops. What do you mean I can't go in nightclub? What do you mean? Let me in! Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this news. And if you want to see more news, sorry that this video didn't have much news because I didn't know what news to do. But hopefully it was enough news to entertain you or keep you up to date with the latest news in the past week. If you want to see more news, then give it a thumbs